Hey, what is up, everybody? Good evening. We are back with the Clearlake champions for this past weekend. We had the West Coast Championship and also in the combination of the Yakabass Chris Lard Memorial Tournament. So both of those days starting Friday and it ran all the way through Sunday. So Friday and Saturday was the West Coast Championship, and then Saturday, Sunday was the Chris Lard tournament. So we have Damian Thao and Thomas Willingmyre on tonight. Damian, West Coast champion for the West Coast Championship tournament, and we have Thomas who took the champion pot for the Chris Lard Memorial Tournament. Respectfully, both of them, Thomas took third in the West Coast Championship, and then Damian Thao took second for the Chris Lard Memorial Tournament for Yakabass. That's some money there, guys. Freaking A! Congratulations.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, that's something to be majorly proud. Like I told Damian just before the podcast, what I would pay just to be in his shoes for one day, winning the West Coast Championship like that. That's freaking awesome. So tonight, guys, we're just going to kind of break down how their practices went, what they kind of found, and just kind of build up into what their days for tournament, how that went down. So let's start with Thomas. Let's start with your practice. Like, how'd your practice go? How many days were you able to practice? And let's see how it started.
So pretty much I fished the Saturday before the tournament and then also the Tuesday before the tournament, and launched out a rattlesnake, and I just kind of fished familiar water, and ended up out probably Saturday fishing for about 4 hours, and I had one like 15-inch fish on an underspin, and couldn't get bit on anything. I could see him everywhere on live scope, but couldn't get anything bit. Decided when the sun was really high that just start messing around a little bit. I ended up throwing a football jig underneath the dock right next to the pilings, and ended up pulling out like a 17 and a half. So I kind of found that. And then the football jig, I didn't really like pitching it. So I had one flipping jig in my tackle box that I brought with me. So I ended up tying that on. I only had just a flapping hog and green pumpkin for a trailer, put that on, and it was pretty much the whole rest of the day Saturday. I think I had 98 inches in like another 4 or 5 hours.
That's on practice day, right?
That was on practice day. And then Tuesday was the same thing. I wanted to get out far enough away from the tournament, but still kind of close to it to where I could see if that pattern was still there. And I ended up having like 97, just kind of messing around and fishing docks and stuff. So I knew the pattern was still there. So come tournament, I just stuck with it.
Yeah, was there multiple fish on docks, or was it just
it was one big fish per dock.
Okay,
No matter what, there was only one like 17 and up at every dock. Well, every dock that I caught a fish on.
Okay.
Were they relating to the wood?
I think it was more where the shade was, where the sun was up in the sky. But I also do think that the bigger wood pilings were the better ones. That's what I kind of like ended up figuring out. The metal ones almost always had like only like a 12 to 16-inch fish on it. It was just something weird.
Yeah, I caught a good one off a wood piling, and I thought, oh, there we go. That's the key.
But if I would have not known pre-fish that I had that pattern, because I mean, come even in practice and tournament days, I would fish probably 3 full docks. I mean, casting at each piling 4 or 5 times, working around. And some of those have, 10 pilings on them. So I burn a lot of time, but I would cover 3 docks and no fish at all. Literally like the 4th or 5th dock, I'd catch like a 21 or a 20 and a half or something. So I knew I just had to just keep going.
Mhm.
Were they relating to the deeper part of the dock?
Come tournament time, Friday and Saturday, it was probably 4 to 10 feet, maybe a little into 12 feet. But on Sunday, it was definitely 10 to 14 feet. So I would say majority came on like probably the deepest corner piling, but I also pitched in and I would catch like an 18 off, like, right in the middle underneath the dock.
Mhm.
Maybe they saw it and then they followed it, but I did catch a lot on the fall on like the deeper parts because you would see the line just go slack. And I know it wasn't just 3 feet deep. I knew it was 14 or 12 or 10. So they would snatch it up. So
They were suspended underneath the docks.
yeah, and I did put my live scope pull down like once or twice just to see, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but Clearlake's kind of it's hard for me to read the live scope at Clearlake because there's so much stuff in the water.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I can't really trust it too much. I can see if there's a big blob down there, but I don't know if it's actually a fish or if it's like a piece of the dock is broken or something. Or
Yeah. Well, it's a lot different too. I find when I go up there and use live scope compared to a clear water like Pedrome or Clear, and then a lot of times you're not sure if it's a damn catfish too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Until you do hook up in and you're like, oh boy, that's a school catfish right there. So
Yeah. I know a lot of people caught catfish. I didn't catch one, so I usually do, but for some reason, all 5 days that I fished, I did not catch one.
So
Damian. Go ahead, John.
Was there like a Pacific? I mean, obviously you're throwing green pumpkin, flapping hog. Do you think the jig color had anything to do with it, or?
I think so. It's what I was using was a 1/2 ounce Strike King tungsten compact jig, and it has a little bit of red flake in the green pumpkin skirt. And then I used the full size flapping hog, and I probably cut like a little under 1/2 inch off, and it's what I got bit on, so I just stuck with it the entire
green
time.
pumpkin only on the flapping hog, or green pumpkin red?
Yeah, it's green pumpkin with black flake. And it's literally was the only size trailer that I had to put on it. So I ended up, in between practice and the tournament, I ordered tons of
I'm
packs
sure.
of it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I ordered like 6 of the jigs. I ordered like 10 packs of the flapping hogs. I even went to Fisherman's Warehouse and got as many of the 3.75 packs that they had because I could put that whole trailer on there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, flapping hog's definitely one of my favorite jig trailers.
At $1.25 a piece or $1.50 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $9 for the pack, and the big ones only have 5 in
right?
it. So.
Well, still cheaper than some of these JDM baits now with all these tariffs. So.
Oh yeah.
Damian. So, did you find something similar, or were you totally different?
That's totally different.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah. So we had 2 days of practice. We got up there. What is that? Wednesday. Around like 7:30ish, 8 a.m. ish, something like that. We got on the water a little bit later. Me and John drove over there. Man, we was just so exhausted. We just kept pulling over, switch driving, and stopped at the gas station to sleep.
Is that a 4.5 hour drive for you guys, or 5?
It was 6 that day.
Is it 6?
Yeah, it was far, man. It just felt like we never got there. But yeah, we got there, and then we just took our time to get on the water, man. We launched out of Redbud first day, and I couldn't get a bite to save my life. I went from Redbud, went to Riviera, I went all the way to Fraser Point, went closer to Kanaka Harbor, jumped across, worked all the way down to Monitor, and all the way back, and I didn't catch fish. It was rough for me. I didn't get anything going. I got one bite, and it was just like a short strike, and I was strolling. But I think that was part of my part of the problem about what I was happening to me because I still stay committed to the strolling. And I see
Yeah.
fish, but they wouldn't bite. They'd follow it, but they
Trying to
wouldn't
force
bait.
it.
Yeah, I was trying. And I was really just trying to find locations where it had a good population of active eating fish, but no, I couldn't. I didn't run into anything like that. And I fished docks, and I seen fish on docks, and I pitched it over there, and they just weren't interested. So I was rough, and it was pretty rough for me, and and after that, John is telling me he's catching them and stuff, and it's just spinning me out, and just he's caught like 2 4 pounders, and I haven't got a bite, So it's just like, geez, what do you do, And then later that day, we wanted to finish off launching. We always usually check down south and then check up north, so we went up to Keeling Park. We launched out of Keeling Park, and we fished our way into Rodman. On the north end, we noticed that it was sprayed. The grass is kind of dying off. It has a weird tint. But yeah, we went into Rodman, and we went way back in there. I noticed on the left hand side, a lot of the greaves were nesting, so I kind of didn't want to fish that area because they're all on nests and stuff. So
Hmm.
we passed all that stuff up, and then I started on that point. And first cast with the frog, I got a blow up, but didn't commit. And yeah, I got multiple blowups on a frog that didn't commit, and then later I just went and pitched into the area, and then I caught one, and then I pitched back in, got bit again. I went down a little further, and then I caught a 5 pounder down a little further. So I was like, oh, okay, so well, at least we're getting bites, and
Yeah.
if you're getting punch bites, they're gonna be better quality usually. So yeah, we just decided to do that, go into Rodman, and I didn't think it was to be that crowded in there. So the areas that I did get bit, that's the only areas I fished on tournament days. I didn't go anywhere else because I didn't want to encroach on other anglers that did practice in certain areas or had an area that they were working on. So
Sure.
I just sat on a certain section for a while, and I did go all the way in the back. I got a lot of frog blowups, and I was just they weren't eating it though, but I was using it to scan it to find fish on these mats and these cheese. So I
Hmm.
bomb it out there, and I just burn it back on top of the cheese, and they'll blow up. But they wouldn't eat it. Usually, a lot of times, if they really want it, even if you're burning it fast to the mat like that, they'll still choke it. But they were
Yeah.
just you could see them come up and blow up, and their mouth would be closed, and they're
Mm.
they're in the area, so. Uh, it definitely made me feel a lot better going into the tournament because at least we're getting bites in there.
Yeah. So were those fish were under the mats? They weren't related to like any type of wood structure or anything.
No, not for me
That
particularly.
okay.
I've honestly punching. I just punched everything that I can see. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, which is that some of the stuff is that green viney leaf that sticks out. Some of it's the wood, but it seems like they were all on everything. And as long as you're willing to just fish slower and just pick it apart, you're gonna get those bites. And I felt like it's more of a timing deal for the bites,
Hmm.
and especially for the frog fishing, because practice days I didn't catch any frogfish, or the first day of tournament I didn't catch any frogfish as well. So
Yeah.
everything was a very it's timing deal.
No frogfish for you, Thomas? Did you throw a frog?
No, I only threw a top water on Saturday. I threw a walking bait a little bit up shallow, and I not even a blow up, nothing.
Okay. All right. So day one of West Coast Championship. Thomas, you go right to your first spot. You knew exactly where you were going, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah, first was definitely the first spot I wanted to try, just because the last practice day I actually caught like a 20.5 off of that spot. So I figured a couple of days maybe there'll be some there.
and so what was your stomach feeling like? I mean, were you like anxious to get there? Like you
I wanted to beat everyone there, but honestly, all 3 days of fishing, I didn't have a single person really fishing next to me. Maybe like 4 docks down was like the closest someone
Gotcha.
was.
So you roll up, hit the first dock. Like, how'd it pan out? Like, did you get fish right away? I mean, okay.
No, it didn't pan out good at all. I had 2 12-inchers by like 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
they had that sun up with the shade, huh?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But on day 3, I ended up fishing early, and I had over 99 8
Wow.
o'clock. So I think it was a spot deal. I think maybe the first 2 days I wasted too much time burning a bunch of docks up into a certain point, and when I got to that certain point, I knew I was getting better quality fish. I didn't know if it was a timing deal or if it was actually
Location.
a spot deal. Yeah, so I kind of learned because once I got up to the spot I really wanted to fish, it was already 10, 30, 11ish. So that's when I started getting my actual good fish. So yeah, it was frustrating, but I knew that the bite would eventually be there. So I literally just kept the jig rod in my hand the entire time.
So on the last day, how many rods did you bring? 2?
I brought
Oh,
6
okay.
each day, but literally 4 of them were jig rods. I had a
Okay.
football jig, two flipping jigs, just in case something happened to the other
Right.
setup. I just wanted to make sure I had some I could pitch in there, and then I had like a 3/8 ounce flipping jig on another one.
So classic example, all of us kayak guys, we sit there and we prep all our rods for a couple hours before a tournament, and it always ends up, you end up throwing one rod all day long.
Yeah.
And it's usually what happens.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually same when I go out and practice fish, or fun fish. It's like, oh, well, this is what they're biting, so I just stay with it all day. I'm guilty of that. So, all right. So, Damian, day 1, morning 2, did you go right to that spot up in Rodman, or did you?
Yeah, so I didn't start on the main spot I went that I caught majority of my fish. I went to the very back where I got those more frog blowups, right? So not where I caught punch fish. Just for me, I found that punch fish are more of kind of when the
Yeah,
sun's
sure.
up, not like when it's still dark. Like we launched when it was still like dark.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh yeah.
could barely even you can't see
Yeah.
anything. So I've never done good straight punching in the darkness. So I went straight up to all the way back to throw that frog around those where I was getting those frog blowups in practice. So I did the same thing. I was just covering a lot of water because man, it's a lot of water to cover. So I'm just bombing that frog, just burning it, and then I'd follow back in and pitch back in there. I'd hook into fish, but they'd come off. I've got so many fish that to bite, but they were just coming off, and I felt a lot of it had to do with the trailer that I was using because I was using a Rage Menace, which what I got bit on practice, but I felt like that action was just way too much because the morning was pretty cold. So I feel like that action was just a little too much for these fish. So I was getting a lot of those little short bites, and the when I set the hook, the whole bait would be gone or the claws would be gone. And I did catch one up there. I caught, I believe, a 17. I lost like a 16, and I felt like I was like, oh shoot, it's gonna be pretty tough. So on my way out, I caught majority of my fish. So, my first fish. So I fished there and I caught a lot of fish on that spot. Right as soon as I pulled up and I started just catching a bunch of punch fish, but the sun was already up by then. So yeah, so the sun was already up by then, and I was anticipating that the afternoon bite was gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Just when it's really warm, because the mornings were really cold. I'm still wearing sweater and sweatpants and stuff. So so once it got really hot, I was really hoping that afternoon bite would really turn on, and it really did for me. I caught fish throughout the day. Every now and then I'd pluck a 18, or 17, then caught like a 19, and then once it hit 1 o'clock, that was like the prime time for big bites. And right when it hit 1 o'clock, I believe I caught 3 of my fish before lines out. And it was as soon as it hit 1 o'clock, I caught I believe like a 18 and a half, then I caught a 19 and a half, then I caught a 20, all in the same area, all with so I just parked my boat there and just started pitching it and over again, and eventually I got those bites, all in the same little tiny area.
Picked it all apart.
Yeah.
Were they hitting it on the drop, or were you having to stroke it a few times? And
It's really weird. Sometimes they were hit on the fall, and then sometimes you'd hop it around, and you pull it up, let it hold on top of the grass, and then they'd grab it on top of the grass.
Gotcha.
So it was very weird. These fish seems this area, it was an area where fish were coming through. They weren't always in there. It's just like new fish were just reloading all the time because of it was just a point, and the current was always just hitting it. So these fish are just staging up in there to feed, and then new fish would just keep reloading. So
Yeah, in the morning, tell them about the morning or current compared to
Yeah.
the afternoon.
So in the morning, there was a lot more current in the morning, and the current was coming in, and then as the day progressed, the current was going out. So there's a little current deal, and that played a pretty big role in getting those bites as well. You're sitting there, you're spot locked, and then you're kind of spinning around the current. But I did find that I got more bites by turning off my electronics, or not having my electronics at all, and pulling up my trolling motor and not using my trolling motor. So I pull
Mm-hmm.
my trolling motor, I park it in the grass, and a lot of times I get bites, right? And it's so crowded there because everybody's fishing their own thing, certain stretch, and so I just sit there and not fish. I'd wait for a while, and then 10, 15 minutes go by, then I start pitching again. I'll catch one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
letting these fish kind of reload, or if not, I'd rotate around that point, just back and forth. And every time I went to the other side, I caught one, and went back to the other side, caught another one. I just did that all day long and caught fish. And then once I beat it up a lot, that's when I'd park my boat and let it rest and just fish it uh, over and over again.
Tell them about practice day, what the fish were keen on.
It was, I think it's called, is it pennywort? Is it?
Pennywort, yeah.
Yeah, they were keen on pennywort on practice day. It's you got hydrilla everywhere, and then there will be one strand of pennywort sticking up,
Pennywort.
and you'd pitch that, and they'll be on it. But on coming tournament day, first day,
They
they
left.
yeah they left that stuff. I still caught them on that, but they were very scattered. They weren't just tight to that one pennywort. So so you just had to flip everything on
Mm-hmm.
game day. Yeah, you couldn't just target just one specific thing, because on practice day I didn't fish any of the wood. So, but on tournament day they weren't just on the pennywort; they were on everything. So you just have to pitch everything that's in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pre-fishing when we went in there, uh, current was pushing up against a point stuck out, and it had wood, and it had the hydrilla, and it had a little bit of the snot. And I pitched in there and caught a 7 3/4. And I pedal around the corner and I hold it up to show Damian. He takes a picture of it and stuff. And then after that, it was like every pitch. But again, it was later in the day.
Yeah.
If we would have had like from 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock, I think back, where we were at would have been it
Yeah.
would have been outstanding.
Yeah. We were just
two
getting
o'clock.
off when it was good.
Yeah. 2 o'clock, the bite was on fire.
Yeah.
But early it was really slow. I mean, you still caught fish, but you would catch smaller fish, and it seemed like the fish set up better as the day went on. Except for Damon will tell them about day 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember what it's like. I think what was that when we had the TOC up there? I think back in when was it? 2017.
Yeah, in October.
The Wild West or something like that. I was I remember I launched one probably not even 100 yards from Library Park, and I just parked myself there all day long, and I mean just pitched a jig inside the weeds that were oh man, all day long. I've never been so sore from setting hooks all day long. I mean, it was fish after fish after fish after fish, and there was like 2 or 3 of us there sitting all day. And I mean, I give a thumbs up to both of you, Thomas. I mean, one thing, dude, it's kind of nice to see a tournament be won on a jig. Lately how things have been going just recently, in the last year or so with minnows. Yeah. Just, you get, I keep asking, like, when is the day a jig is going to win a tournament again? And there you go. I mean, you made it happen. And not only that, but we'll go into day 2, but so day 1, where are you sitting, Thomas? West Coast Championship after day one. Where are you sitting? You're in third. And Damian, where were you sitting? Weren't you sitting like maybe sixth?
I think,
Like
yeah, I think I
Fifth
was
or
in sixth. Yeah.
sixth?
Yes.
Okay. And so day two rolls around. Let me ask you this. What is your both gut feeling at night? How are you both feeling night before? I mean, obviously, fifth place and third place, you both are still in the money for sure. Like anything can happen on day two. So where's your mindset, Thomas, on day two?
I was a little worried that I would kind of fall behind a little bit. I didn't know if I could keep up, 96 plus inches, but I thought for some reason I'd be like 92 to 93 inches, but I actually picked up half an inch on day two. So I was nervous, but I literally day two, I did the exact same thing, the same route,
same docks, same everything.
Same docks, everything.
And were the fish underneath the same docks again, or did they move?
Yeah, pretty much the exact ones that I got bit on day one. I got bit on day two.
The better fish.
Yeah, well, they were a little better. I think I had 20 pluses on day two, which day one I only had like a 21 or a 21 and a half or 21 and a quarter or something. So it was slightly better fish, but it was literally the exact same docks.
So did you ever throughout the day hit the docks again? And did you catch?
Yeah, I would go up and come back down, and I would.
So they were reloading in your spot too. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Damian, day two, like, did you sleep the night before pretty well, or?
I did. I slept pretty well, and I was feeling pretty good because it's really tough to be somebody leading the tournament, and especially if somebody's
for sure.
The
Yeah.
race is so tight. Are you really leading it? Because
Yeah.
every quarter inches behind each other.
Oh yeah.
But the pressure is not as bad if you're not leading it. So
Sure.
you feel better. It's always easier to chase than to lead. So.
So would you take that any day? I mean, would you take that any day over? I mean, because you're pretty consistent with these tournaments. So would you definitely rather see yourself sitting in fifth, or are you the type of person that you'd like, nope, I want to be in first after day one?
Of course, we'd all like to be sitting first, but the pressure is really there. But honestly, it's way less pressure, and you can gamble more if you're lower. So you tend to make the better and right choices when you're not leading, and you're more willing to make changes if you're not all the way up there, and you're not having everybody chase after you. So
yeah,
I do prefer, unless if you're in the lead and you have a huge lead.
Yeah, 7 or 8 or 10
inch lead.
Then you're like, oh,
then yes, that's where you want to be.
But
if you're 10 inches ahead of everybody after day one, I mean, you kind of already know, like, you're on something.
You're relaxed, you fish better,
Yeah,
not so tense and spinning out and stuff.
Now, mind you guys, we're talking about West Coast Championship day two, which is also day one of the Chris Lard tournament. So that is Saturday. So you guys both fished both of these tournaments. And so day two, your overall score for that day is your last day of the West Coast Championship and the first day of Chris Lard. So, Damian, same bite?
Yes, but I made it a different choice though. So every day, even during practice, I fished the frog, and I didn't catch any fish, but I had a gut feeling to tell me to throw the frog. I always started with the frog. Of course, if you're not catching any fish with it, you're not gonna throw it, right? So
sure.
But then I kept saying they didn't want it, but they knew it was there, and they kept showing themselves to it. So, but the morning that morning for day two it was much more different. There was condition difference. So there was smoke and there was overcast. So the morning was much more warmer than the previous mornings. The
Mhm.
previous mornings I was wearing sweaters. This morning it was much more warmer starting the day. So I was like, oh, they're gonna chew the frog today because of the conditions. The morning is warm, the night wasn't that cold. And right away it started with the frog. I believe the first or second cast I caught I think an 18 or 19. I caught I caught like 4 or 5 frogfish back to back, and uh, I started on that point where I caught all those punch fish. I started on the edges where the current was. There was a lot of current, which played in my favor too, because when the current was really pushing onto that, you see a lot of bait flickering. So I'd throw that popping frog over there, and I'd pop it and let the rings disperse and let those
Mhm.
fish get sense it, so they come up for it. And I ended up catching some really good fish. I caught my big fish, which was a 23 and a half, which is an 8 pounder, and I caught. It was just it happened so quickly, and it was really slowing down that frog, letting it sit, letting all those rings disperse. It's a glass calm morning, it's still dark,
Mhm.
but I got all those good bites right before the sun came up. So anything I felt like if I got before, uh, like 9 a.m. If I got any bites before 9 a.m., that was a bonus fish because my bite actually didn't really get good until
Yeah.
midday. So
Yeah.
I was really just trying to fill limit quick so I can feel comfortable and I can really start slowing down. So, but it kind of worked in my favor where I got those frogfish going really first thing in the morning. It was pretty surprising because it happened so quickly. You catch one and you take a picture and then you bomb it out there and you don't think you're gonna get another bite, and sure enough, they just keep chewing it over and over again. Then when I started catching them and they stopped biting the frog, because once the sun got over the hills and the sun peaked out, the frog bite just disappeared.
Really?
And then I went and punched the mat, and the first punch I caught a 19 as well with that punch. So
Wow.
and then after that I just continued to catch 18 inches all day long. It was fun, but those ones weren't gonna really help me. I needed
I feel really bad for you when you start saying, yeah, those 18 inches didn't really matter anymore. My goodness. I feel so bad. So, Thomas, the jig bite all day. Like you didn't
All
change
day.
nothing else.
No, day two was exactly the same.
So how many fish you think you caught on day 2?
Day two, I probably caught less than, including like anything, any keeper size, probably less than 15. And then
Okay.
day one was probably only about 10, maybe 10
Yeah.
or 11.
And were you like at that point, like Damien, shoot, another 18 incher. Were you at that point yet or no?
No, because I think I had two 17s in my bag, and I ended up culling them both out for 18s. And
Okay.
so I didn't really get any bigger bites at the end of the day that day, but I did catch. I think I caught a 20 and a half around 12:30, and that
Okay.
helped. I think that bumped one of the 18s out or something.
Yeah. And
So,
at any point did you, like Damien, realize, like, okay, my golden hour is going to be like maybe 1 o'clock. Like, did you at all have that feeling or?
no, I just kind of knew the spots that I wanted to hit at like a certain time. I wanted to be back at like my starting point of the day, just because I didn't catch anything in the morning. I wanted to be right back there, like at 1:45. So I have 15 minutes to really pick apart that dock. And the end of day two, I think I caught a 19 at the very very end. It was like 150 or something. So.
Wow.
And that I think that helped. I think that cold like an inch or something.
Yeah. So that might have moved you right into third at that point, huh?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think day two, yeah, I think it did move me right back into third.
So I'm going to ask this. So day 2, towards the end, you catch that 19 and you're like, okay, I got to be up there. How'd you feel like going into the ramp? Like, did you
I felt good. I honestly thought that I would maybe second, but I know Damain and O were going to catch them. So
yeah.
I don't look at the standings throughout the day.
No, me neither. I can't.
So,
there's no
all
way.
3 days I didn't look at it. So I just kind of like did the math in my head, and I was like, I knew I ended up with 193 inches for 2 days. And I was like, man, that's pretty good, but someone's going to have some, 195 or up.
Yeah.
So.
And Damien, when was that aha moment? Like, you're like, yep, I know I took this. Did you have that? I mean, you obviously never know, right? Like
Right.
you just don't. But like, where was your mindset when you're heading back into the ramp? Like, how'd you feel?
My mindset when I didn't feel like I was winning. I was gonna win it. I
Mhm.
felt like I had a good shot at it, but I wasn't sure because, like, okay, so this is how the day went, right? So the more catch, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have time to check the standings all the time. So oh no,
Oh boy.
no, Obidi caught another 20, and I check an hour later. He caught another
Yeah,
20.
Obidi was on
Obidi,
it,
yeah,
dude.
every hour I checked, he caught another 20. I was like, and
Mm-hmm.
he had 117 incher to get rid of. I was like, everybody knows Obidi. If he's fishing grass and the bite don't start till the really good bite doesn't start till 1, and it's like 11 a.m. It's like he has how many hours left to call at 17. I was like, he's gonna run
Sure,
a quick
sure.
20 because he's consistently
Yeah.
catching the 20 inches, and he had a 1 inch lead on me. So it's like, oh shoot, even if I had a 100 inch, I don't know if it'll hold if he catches like high 90s. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was checking all the time, and it was kind of spinning me out, and I had one small fish I had 18 inch to get rid of. So I was like, I had 18 and quarter to get rid of, and I needed one more good fish to have a shot at it. So, and right at the end, right after, I think it was like 128 or something like that, I ended up catching that coal fish, which was a 20.25. And without that fish, I wouldn't have won. O would have got me. So
Mm-hmm.
the race was really really close. I honestly didn't feel like I had it won. So going into the weigh-ins, and this just waiting and just anticipating. You're like, oh gosh, man, this because
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't
I
I
mean,
didn't do the math, so I didn't add my numbers up. So I kind of like that feeling, not adding my numbers, so I don't actually know how much I have. And
yeah.
so I just guesstimate like, I think I have 100 inches.
Yeah.
So
Well, just like you said, I mean, you see someone needs to just call 17. They can be holding on a 20-inch fish all day. You know what I mean? Just to
yeah,
submit it at the last. And again, it plays with your mind.
yeah,
That's why I never look at I never look. Even if I know I'm having a semi, shitty day of fishing, I still don't look at the score. It just makes me upset. So,
yeah.
uh,
I look though, because like I was like, oh, I got a solid bag in the morning. I was like, okay, check, see who's catching up,
sure, sure,
and then
sure.
it starts to play in your head, and you're like, and then if you have the lead, right? You're looking at you like, man, time's going so slow now. But then if you're chasing, you're like, time's going so quick. I need to start catching.
Yeah.
So it's like opposite
Well, I
all the
guess
time.
if the doc talk after day one is nobody was catching fish and you were just solidly on them, and you're just like, I could see it. I just can't. Maybe I would look at this tournament board, but I just can't.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, every time I look at it, I say, "Oh wow, look, I'm in first place." Oh look, I'm in first place still, and then
Yeah.
next thing I know, I'm in 15th place at the end. I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, yeah, because
I'm not looking no more.
Damian submitted all his fish at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
everybody else did too, and I'm like, I'm not looking no more. Screw it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we know the classic Damien, and now there's more of them out there. So
Yeah,
we know.
I saw Damien like the last 2 hours, and he tells me, yeah, I'd never really look at the standings, and was like, dude, are you looking at the standings? Yep. And then about 20 minutes goes by. Are you looking at the standings? Yep. I go, well, Obity caught another 20. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit. He was like, I need a 20 incher. I need to call this 18. I'm thinking to myself, shit, I wish I could catch an 18. You know what I mean? And then I told him, I said, you'll get it, you'll get it, you'll get it. Sure enough, he got a 20 and a quarter and like a half an hour left.
Yeah,
And
but I didn't get a bite for like 3 hours until that one. I
right.
didn't move from where I was at. But the spot that I was at, all the day before, I caught all my big fish on that particular spot, right when it
Right.
hit 1 o'clock. So I stayed there until the very end
Uh-huh.
because I knew that one big bite was gonna come from that section of the mat. So I just stayed there,
Right.
and sure enough, that 20 incher came right there at that mat. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so you got, let's see, day 2, you get back to the ramp. Damien, obviously you won the West Coast Championship, and I know it's been kind of in your vision for that to happen for a while. You've been really working for it, and it happened. So after you found out you took home the trophy, how'd that feel?
It felt pretty unreal because we've fished so much of this West Coast Championship, and I've got top fives a couple times, or gotten top tens, and think about Clearlake, it can happen for anybody. So it's like I just
Sure.
never seem to have that. It never like Clearlake just hasn't been really nice to me a lot of times, and including like on a birthday, I'm just trying to go up there to get this weekend over with and go striper fishing. Come back home striper fish, and
Yeah.
when we got up there, I was like, oh gosh, practice sucks, and then we fish there. I was like, drove all the way there, and didn't catch it. So I was like, man, Clearlake just been just kicking me down lately, So I wasn't expecting too much. First day I did good, but I was like, it's all right. But then once day two, when I caught that solid bag in the morning, I'm like, oh, and then I started getting that feeling back. So it's that tournament. It started coming back because I was kind of getting a little burned out from all the tournaments every weekend. So I started
Yeah.
getting that feeling back, and I was like, oh shoot, no, maybe I have a shot at it. I've always, of course, we always try to shoot for the West Coast Championship, the title, because it's just so hard to win this title. So
Yeah.
just happy things fell in place.
So you're sitting first. Okay, so now we're Saturday, so that's the end of West Coast Championship. Now we're like after day one of the Chris Lard Memorial Tournament for Yakabass. Damian, you're obviously sitting first. Thomas, you're sitting third still.
No, I was in fifth.
You were in fifth, yeah. So guys, there's some guys that fish, some guys aren't. So that's where all this confusion, it kind of gets hard to follow this. So, Damian, you are absolutely in first. What was your total inches for day one of Chris Lard?
Day one, I think I had 102 inches for day one.
Yep.
Okay, 102 inches. And Thomas, where were you sitting?
I had a 96 3/4.
Okay, so quite a bit of difference between you two. When you look at it, because a lot of these tournaments go down to dang near the 1/4 inch sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So something magical happens for you, Thomas, on day two of the Chris Lard tournament.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. So tell us what happened that day.
So pretty much I knew I was in fifth. I know Damian just caught 102. So I figured I can either go out and I can just do the same pattern that I did before, or I could change it up a little bit. So I ended up going all the way to the first spot that the last 2 days around, almost 11, I would catch a first big fish. So I ended up fishing there first thing, 6 o'clock or whatever in the morning. And I ended up throwing a chatterbait because I fished one dock for like 2 minutes, didn't catch anything on it. So it was still like kind of dark. So I ended up throwing a chatterbait up next to like a little seawall behind one of the docks, and there was some rock and everything. And I pulled an 18 1/4. So I was like, oh, maybe something changed. So maybe it's a reaction bite now. And I fished it probably 25 more minutes and went up and down a stretch and didn't have a single other bite. So I ended up coming back to that same spot, like third cast in on the inside of like one of those big like boat docks that have like a little ramp that go out to it. I ended up like the third pitch in there, I caught it 22 1/4.
Wow.
So and it was only like 6:50 or 6:32 in the morning or something. So I figured maybe it isn't a time deal for me. Maybe it is just a spot deal. And after that, it was pretty much just on fire.
Lights out, huh?
Yeah.
So how many fish that day did you catch?
I probably caught 20-ish, a little over 20. And they were
all solid,
all solid. I was at the end of the day, I threw back a 20-inch fish. I threw back a 19 1/2, a couple 18s. I mean, it's pretty sad when you're throwing back a 20 that won't do anything.
Yeah.
So Thomas, tell me, when you throw that jig in there, were the fish thumping it, or were they just?
I would I would pitch it in. I'd let it go slack. I would just kind of reel out the slack a little bit, and I would just kind of hop it a couple times. And if when I went to hop it the first time, if a fish wasn't already on it and I didn't see the line moving, then most of the time I wasn't going to get bit. I think it was mostly like a fall deal.
Initial
Maybe
drop.
caught it on like the first little hop, but it was mostly I just saw the line get tension and then I would rip them.
So I just want to let you know that, you're throwing 20s back. Well, there was probably, was there 70 anglers, right? Well,
Yeah.
there were 69 other anglers that would have loved to catch one
I
of
know.
those 20s.
Right.
I threw back a good bag. I threw back a 93-inch bag probably. So it was definitely fun.
Yeah.
And what was your total weight for day 2?
Weight wise, I don't know. I only weighed one.
I'm not weight. Your inches. Sorry.
107.
107.
Yeah.
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, obviously we'd have to check it out. I think you're tied for the biggest bag, right, with Reed Frazier.
Yeah.
Is that where we're at right now? You're tied.
That's what I've heard.
We'd have to research it. So, and see, I know Reed had, at the BAM, I know he had 107 something. I don't know.
I think it was 107 even, and that's what I had.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
your 2
Hell of a
total
day.
for
It was-
Saturday, Sunday.
203.75.
Yeah. So that's really good.
Yeah. Do we know what Reed's overall for those 2 days?
It was
It
only,
was only one day.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Mike Lavoie, he had for the West Coast, he had 200 and something.
yeah.
Yeah, I forget what he had, but
You may want to
pretty close
research
to-
that, Thomas, see where you sit, go back in some of the history. Either way, I mean, that's one hell of a day.
yeah, it was the best day I've ever had. So
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah. When they
too?
say all the stars aligned, they sure in the hell aligned that day. Jeez.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I talked to or came up and talked to me were like, "Yeah, I just couldn't get a bite," and I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of fish that can be caught. You just had to do the right thing in the right area, But
I heard a lot of that too.
Yeah, you couldn't just run the bank and catch fish. You know what I mean?
It wasn't
Like-
that type of bite.
No, and it was really, even the punch bite was really Pacific as well.
Yeah.
On Damian.
Yeah, very specific.
Yeah.
So, Damian, day 2 of Chris Lard, you went right back to your.
I did the same
spot.
thing, but first thing in the morning, I was feeling good, but I knew whatever I fished, I had wore it out because the day before, and anything that bit, I didn't miss a fish. I put them all in the boat. I jacked everything that bit. It's only a mat the size of 2 boat lanes. It's a little tiny mat. So I felt like I just beat the life out of that thing, and I took every fish from what it had in there. It's just, and I felt going into day 2, I was like, okay, if I catch, low 90s to mid 90s, I'd be doing pretty good. Like, I know I'm not gonna win it, but I'll make it into the money, and that was the main goal, because I knew that my spot wasn't gonna sustain a giant bag anymore.
Yeah,
just
what's a
because-
couple extra $1,000, after you just won 11 something thousand,
and going back to the same spot, I knew everything is worn out, but
Yeah.
of course you can run around, scramble around, but the area is so small, you don't want to jump to another spot and another angler is fishing that spot or
Sure.
planning to fish that spot, because
Yeah.
to be honest, I only practice a certain section because we kind of ran out of time during practice. I only practice a certain section, so I didn't want to go and try new areas, and it might mess up somebody else's game plan when they were fishing a certain stretch during practice, because I wasn't there during practice. So it's like I'm just gonna stick to what I have. So I just sat there all day, and it worked really nice, because even though there's a lot of people in Rodman, all the guys that were there on day 1, we all worked with each other. We never encroached on each other. We knew what everybody was doing. So if like they fish a certain section and they leave it alone, that they're gonna come back to it because they're just letting the fish reload. So
Yeah.
it's like everybody worked with each other. Nobody touched each other's sections. It was really nice. It was pretty nice. With like Obi, Paul, all those guys, so it's kind of like you kind of it was nice to see that, and a lot of these guys they have faster boats than you like they can beat you to your spot. So
Yeah.
and it's really nice when it's like that when everybody's working together and not fishing on top of each other.
So a lot of the say top 10 guys were kind of in the area you guys were in.
Yeah, we're just all
Okay.
fishing certain sections.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Day two, the last day, you know, I I started with the frog, caught 2 fish on the frog, and uh, that was pretty rough. And then I ended up struggling to get a limit throughout the day. My spot just didn't reload. There was less current too. There's little to no current in the morning. Because every time I threw my frog out, you can barely, it's not even drifting down, and there was
Hmm.
less bait as well. So everything seemed off, but I've already felt like I've already done everything I could around this mat. So I mean, I just waited around just to hopefully pluck one here and there, and you know, caught a 19, and then I think caught a 18. And I struggled the rest of the day. I kept catching really small fish, which I didn't catch during the previous days. I started catching a lot of 12 to 14-inch fish.
Hmm.
Before I was catching just, I think my smallest one was probably like 17 inches. I was just caught tons of them the previous day. And then the last day is, man, I was catching so many shorts or like 12 to 14 inches that, weren't going to do anything. So the bite definitely changed. The fish got beat up. I felt like I caught several of the same fish too. Even the small ones, I felt
Sure.
like I caught them over and over again the same day. It felt like so.
Well, you were into the third day of fishing in the same area, so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I guess can't complain that Matt really produced when
Yeah.
when it did. So it was nice.
So Damian finished second in the Yakabass, and Thomas finished took home the gold. So that's amazing. What's up next for both of you guys?
I just have the Yakabass, the TOC at Tolik.
Hmm.
I think that's the only one.
When's that one?
October.
Okay.
Not sure
Ooh, that's gonna be a good time out there, I think, in October. So, Damien, you got Trinity up next, right?
Yeah, Trinity. Basically, all the TOCs that are coming up. So Trinity is
Yeah.
next, but yeah,
That's
should
going
be
to
a
be
fun
fun.
time.
Yeah. Trinity's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm
If you
kind of
haven't been
bummed
there,
I'm going to miss out this year, but,
yeah,
I'll be back next year.
if you haven't been to Trinity, you got to make that trip.
Yeah. I just wish I lived a lot closer.
Well, Damien's got 8-hour drive. I have a 7-hour drive. So,
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Hey, I came up with some. I want to have a little fun tonight. So, to close it out, we're going to ask you guys some questions. I'm going to build upon this because I think it just kind of would be fun. So, all right. So, Thomas, this is a question for both of you, actually. Let's start you, Thomas. So, would you rather eat a gas station burrito or a 3-day-old sandwich sitting in your cooler for breakfast on tournament day?
No, I'll eat a gas station burrito.
Okay. Damien?
Same gas station burrito.
Okay. Yeah, I need to reword that, a shitty gas station burrito, because I know there are some good gas station burritos out there. So, okay, what's the most money you've ever spent on a lure that hasn't caught a single fish yet?
I have a Piz little runt wake, and I paid a lot of money for it, and I haven't even had a single fish even chase it.
Okay. Damien?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one.
Because he's caught fish on everything.
I buy a lot of swim baits and I throw them too. I guess what is that? It's not. I guess it's considered a expensive, but it's the mat lures. I guess it's the dead twist trout. It's like a 13-inch trout. Yeah, I haven't caught anything on that yet, but every other swim bait I've caught with the ones I own.
Okay. Let's see. What's the worst thing you realized you forgot on tournament day after you got to your first spot?
I don't know if I really forgot anything on tournament day. On pre-fish, I forgot my boondock wheels, and then I forgot my my entire tackle trunk. So I just had what was tied on the rods, and that's it.
All right. Damien?
Yeah, this is a good one for me. I forget water. John knows
You
this.
forget water.
Oh yeah, he
He
knows I got water.
Probably the most important thing to keep you alive out there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he knows I
your
got
life
water,
vest.
and he's looking for me. John, you got a water? Yeah,
I'm always
$100.
I got a can of soda and I have to ration that for the whole day. I'm just like, I got a can of soda.
You know how many $100 bills I got off him for water? I sold him 2 waters for $200 one day.
Every day it gets to midday, I gotta go look for John, man. And he always got a lot of water, you know.
Dude,
cold
I
water
went
too.
through
Yeah.
I went through a gallon of water on Sunday when I was out at McClure Fun Fishing. So
Easy.
yeah, you got to bring water. It was hotter than shit out there on Sunday.
Can I answer that question myself?
Oh yeah, John. You know what? Let's include you. Okay, let's include you. Let's start to the top first. Burrito or a 3-day-old sandwich?
I'd starve.
Okay.
I wouldn't do
Well,
it.
okay.
Okay.
What's the most money you've ever spent
I'm
on a
taking
lure?
the fifth on that one.
Okay. Worst thing you realize you forgot at the truck on tournament day.
Okay, so I'm a pretty regular dude. All right, what I mean by regular is, I go number 2 regularly. So, and all the hustle and bustle and the being hurried and stuff, I get to my first spot and I realize, ruh-roh. Someone's calling. So anyways, I always bring TP in the kayak, and I headed for the shore and took care of business. And every time someone come by, I say, "Hey, you see those paper over there?" Explain to them what happened. But yeah, I forgot to use the restroom one time. Yeah, I didn't forget a rod or a crate or battery or. Oh wait. One time I did forget the gumball bracket, but I just put the electronics by my feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it still worked. So
Sure.
It wasn't like
sure. All right. So who are you listening to on the way to the ramp? Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, or the Backstreet Boys?
None of them. If I had to pick one, I don't know.
Got to pick one.
Backstreet Boys or something.
All right. Damien?
I would say the same, yes, Backstreet.
Okay.
I don't have
John?
A clue.
I don't have a clue who that is.
I don't have a clue of any of those. My radio stays off. Isn't that awful? I usually don't listen to the radio when I drive. I don't know. I mean, the Backstreet Boys, isn't that like a band from the 60s or something?
No, I think the 90s or something.
Oh, okay. And what was the other one?
Britney Spears or Taylor Swift?
I know who Britney Spears, but yeah, she had a sexy video on it. Maybe I'd listen to that.
All right. So last question. What lure in your lineup would you be most afraid of your friends finding out about, the one they would roast you about?
I don't know. I really only throw the same like 5 lures, so probably none of them. I mean, I don't know, I throw an A-rig a ton, but maybe they would give me some stuff about that. But
no banjo minnow or
no, nothing.
All right.
Nothing crazy.
All right, Damien, you laugh, so obviously you got something here.
It's gonna be that Guggen bait.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
I always give somebody a hard time about Guggens, but then when there's a good bite on Eastern with that Guggen, there's a particular Guggen bait that I don't let anybody catch me with it. That's the thing, because I always give people a hard time about Guggens. Or my friends, I always give them a hard time about throwing Guggens.
Yeah.
But then I don't let them catch me with it, though.
All right, John.
I'm with Thomas. I think probably throwing the tube, it catches fish, but it doesn't catch really big fish. So
yeah,
when I'm throwing it, I'm just desperate to get a bite.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're almost better off not even throwing it because, I've caught big fish on it, but more often than not, it's just been keepers, which is a big thing at times too, though. But,
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Well, we're going to build upon these questions because I think it was a little fun to do something like this. I think we need to build upon them. I just kind of came up with a few, and I think it kind of helps bring some comedy to it. So, anyways, Thomas, Damian, thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Congratulations to both of you. I do want to give you an opportunity real quick to shoot out your social
website.
site. Yep. And any sponsors you would like to thank. So Thomas.
Just Thomas Willingmyre Fishing, YouTube, and then same thing on Instagram. And then just the one person I want to thank is just my wife. She watched the kids all weekend, and I drove back and forth each day just to, sleep here and help put the kids to bed. But she did everything. So
yeah. How long of a drive is it from Clearlake to you?
To the Oaks, it's only like an hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad.
That isn't bad at all.
No.
That isn't bad at all. Damian.
Yeah, let's see. Want to thank my sponsors, Kayak City, First Gen Fishing, Drink Crazy, P-Line, 559 Fresno Bait and Tackle, and Yak Bass Angler. Those guys are really helping me out there this year, which is really nice. Wouldn't be able to do it without those guys. As well as thank you guys for having me on the show. It's always fun to come along and chat with you guys.
It's always a blast.
Definitely.
So
we have some.
Congrats to you, Thomas. Congrats to you, man.
You
Super
too.
impressive.
Yeah. Hey, trust me, all day Sunday, I just kept telling myself every coal I had to get more because I knew I had a feeling like, I thought like you would have like another like 102 or 103 or something. So I just had to just keep going.
You had a mantra, I'm sure, right? Like just kept, repeating it over and over and over.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have some people to thank too, huh?
Yes, we do. Headwaters Adventure Company up in Redding and Rancho Cordova. Brian, thanks for giving us this opportunity and platform to put on the Anglers RX podcast and doing what you do for Bass Angler Magazine tournaments. And, if you guys ever need anything, obviously Brian's there to help you guys out. We also have First Gen Fishing. Any of our listeners, we have a discount code. If you go onto their website and order, use Anglers RX10, all caps. And then also BioNO Power. They gave all of our listeners 10% off. So use the code TEN, 20-year warranty, guys. I keep saying if something goes wrong with the battery, the next 20 years, shit, I'll be almost 70 years old by that time. So anyways, get over if you need anything, reach out to any of us. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to help you out. Outside of that, John, do you have anything to finish up on?
Yeah, Thomas said it about his wife and stuff. Everybody has a significant other that helps out while you're gone. I was gone for 5 days, and anyways, I always appreciate everything my wife does for me. And, the whole kayak group, everybody's great people. We stayed in a house, an Airbnb, and we ate some food from AJ.
I'm still waiting for that opportunity. I'm telling you.
I tell you what, that was some good stuff.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Pia made some delicious food as well. I ate and ate, and I tell you what, that was a great time and always enjoyed it. And Max Lee, he always gets everybody together and he's very helpful and very giving, so the whole group is a great group, and I always look forward to staying with them.
That's the one thing about the kayak community. I think we've all I think Thomas, haven't you room and board with us at one point? I'm not sure.
I don't.
I know Damian and John, we have, and, I'll tell you, it's always a great time. I think that's what I missed the most. Just this last year, we really haven't, I haven't done much, hanging out with everyone at, Airbnbs or anything. So, but it's always a great time. Everybody's chilled, relaxed, and having great food. My God, I keep seeing Pia post food all the time on his Facebook page, and AJ obviously being I think he's an executive chef, I think, isn't he?
Dude, we had such good food. I tell you, between him and Pia, I asked them both if they were married. And anyways, Daniel was laughing because I asked if they want to be my significant others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you, that food was good. Yeah, we tore up that house too, by the way.
Oh boy.
Kind of felt bad at being.
Did you guys get your deposit back? I hope.
Well, I mean, we all cleaned up afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was just, it was pretty good, and the parking a little tricky, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 trailers in the parking, and we could have put another 2 vehicles in there, made it real tight. So, and it's, there's a hill you got to back down. It's a little tricky, but. Yeah,
that's always the hard thing when you're booking these Airbnbs for multiple guys. Is you just got to make sure there's enough room for everyone's trailer or truck. So
yeah, Robert says we tore them up. Toilets. We all had some. Let's just say I shouldn't say it, but
yeah,
anyways,
let's save that for
the food. The food we ate sure made the toilet work for itself.
Jeez. All right, guys.
Amy knows how I am when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, Robert, Robert's a funny dude. He really is. He, some of the stuff he says and stuff. So, I mean, there's a couple quiet people, but anyway.
There's always a couple.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Once you break the ice, they usually open up. So.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that does it for this week. Again, thank you, Thomas, Damian. Congratulations to both of you.
Good job, guys. Great job.
Look forward to seeing what you guys do up in Trinity, John and Damian. Thomas, Tolick, October should be pretty decent, I think.
Hopefully.
So
be a minnow bite.
Yeah.
Minnow bite. Top water.
Anyways, don't know who we'll have on next week. We'll figure it out. James Croco is coaching and helping his son with football until about October. So I think once he gets back, I think John and I are going to go on vacation and let him take over for – no, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
And then 2 are going to start a little bit later.
Yeah, I think I'll talk to you, John. We'll figure it out. I think maybe around 6:30. It gets tough for me getting off work at 5:30 to get home and get on by 6. So, and I think it helps with people that may possibly have prior engagements with kids sports and stuff. We all have kids. So, well, except Damian.
One more thing too. I'm proud of all the young fathers out there, for good people, and they take care of their family, huh, Thomas?
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Best thing.
Yeah, great fathers. Good job,
guys.
All you guys. Robert. Of course, AJ is going to be my significant other. I don't think we could have kids, but.
We'll finish off with that, guys. You all have a good night, all right? We'll talk to you next week.
Right. Good job, guys.
All right.